Part 13. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 123. Yang Hao looked in front of him. It was something that Fang Qingying sent to him through many channels. This is a storage bracelet. In Zhiwei Star, practitioners can directly put treasures into the body for storage, but there is still a market for treasures with space storage capabilities. He actually went to Shiwanda Mountain to join in the fun. It must have been a lot of opportunities. Yang Hao said to himself after sensing a jade slip in the storage bracelet. Now Fang Qingying can no longer be called Yalan Saint. She achieved great power a few years ago and became an elder with high status as Yin Yang Saint. After being transformed by Yang Hadu, the heroine's luck as the heroine of Yalan Saint has not declined. On the contrary, it has the potential to soar into the sky. However, only a few years have passed, and Fang Qingying is about to break through. Great power, becoming a god-level strongman. The content of the jade slip that Yang Hao sensed was the message from Fang Qingying. This time she also went to Shiwen Mountain, and got a lot of opportunities along the way. Fang Qingying, the purpose of the message was to explain to Yang Hao the secrets she discovered in Shiwanda Mountain, and to give Yang Hao some of the extremely rare artifacts she had obtained. In fact, this is not the first time that Fang Qingying has passed on the message. Write a letter to Yang Hao. Since Yang Hao transformed Fang Qingying would pass on various news and acquired treasures to Yang Hao almost every year through secret channels between the two. If he hadn't presented treasures to Yang Hao so frequently, Yang Hao, it's hard to say that with Fang Qingying's talent and opportunity, he has become a god-level powerhouse. Something interesting. Yang Hao recalled Fang Qingying's message. Compared with the information he got in the Holy Land of Eternal Life, the news brought by Fang Qingying, the protagonist of fate, was more secretive. In the 100,000 mountains, there is really a medicine of immortality. It is not groundless. According to Fang Qingying's discovery, the former owner of this upcoming elixir of immortality is most likely a great emperor, the great emperor of creation. The divine formation within the 100,000 mountains is called the true realm divine formation, which can suppress the strength of all those who enter the powerful realm. It was arranged by the great emperor of creation. Yang Hao thought about the news that Fang Qingying told him in the jade slip, and his heart moved. The great emperor of creation, the true world divine array. He instantly remembered the true world divine key that he had obtained in the holy land of creation. Is there any connection between them? If not, he knew the name of the true world divine key through the system, so he might miss it. Yang Hao paid attention to it secretly, and had an idea of going to Shiwen Mountain. He knew very well that the true world divine key was the second sequence of the forest of 10,000 Dharma stels. If Fang Qingying's news is accurate, then he might be able to try to fight for some elixir of immortality. Yang Hao began to take out the treasure from the storage bracelet with some anticipation. The treasure Fang Qingying sent me this time was to fight an old monster, kill him, and then snatch it from his hand. Somewhat speechless. According to his understanding, the old monsters who were able to enter the true world divine formation this time were at least quasi-saints. Killing saints. Fang Qingying massacred a quasi-saint in an understatement. Although the other party was also attacked by the true world. Suppressed by the divine formation, but still possesses the strength of an eternal giant. The little destiny spell is really terrifying. Yang Hao sighed. He didn't need to think too much to know that the quasi-sage who was killed by Fang Qingying must have been restrained by Fang Qingying's little fate technique and fell unexpectedly. He knew very well how terrifying the little fate technique that could break all kinds of magic was. At this time, a fist-sized divine crystal also appeared in Yang Hao's hand. According to Fang Qingying, this object is the sky-breaking divine crystal that has been nourished and mutated by the breath of the immortal medicine. It is indeed a good treasure. There is no such miraculous thing even in the current holy land of eternal life. Yang Hao had just held the mutated Skyduan divine crystal in his hand when he felt a terrifying wave of energy. Although the holy land of eternal life has extremely profound foundations, the Skyduan divine crystal is extremely rare and of the highest quality. Material, the one in his hand was nourished by the breath of the immortal medicine, which was naturally extremely rare. Yang Hao directly put the Duan Kong divine crystal into the sea of spiritual energy in his body without thinking. The next moment, the Duan Kong divine crystal then began to be refined on its own. The points consumed are actually several times higher than the treasures I usually refine. Yang Hao felt that his points were starting to be consumed crazily, but he was even more excited in his heart. Half a day later, this extremely rare mutant sky-breaking crystal was automatically refined into a treasure liquid by the system, and it was integrated into the body of the great desolate killer. Within the array, the shadow of a gun actually began to solidify. Yang Hao's eyes flashed. He had refined countless precious treasures in the past few days, and he had just made the prehistoric killing formation extremely stable. However, the several phantom weapons in the prehistoric killing formation had not changed at all. Unexpectedly, this sky-breaking divine crystal directly caused one of the shadows to gradually solidify. As one of Yang Hao's most powerful trump cards at the moment, such a rapid change made Yang Hao's heart suddenly beat. Maybe, it's time to go to Shiwanda Mountain to see. It is impossible to say that it can speed up the growth of the prehistoric killing array. When he received the news from Fang Qingying and told him about the true world divine formation, he was already a little moved. Now when he saw that the treasure Fang Qingying got from the true world god formation had an extraordinary effect on him, he was even more excited in an instant. Thoughts? Taking action as soon as you think of it has always been Yang Hao's character. Auntie, my killing formation has been solidified. Next, I plan to go to Shiwanda Mountain to look for opportunities. Yang Hao immediately found Zhang Wu and said directly to her. Do you want to go to Shiwanda's Han? It's not peaceful there now. But it was a coincidence, my aunt was also planning to go there. Zhang Wu heard this and said with a smile. Does my aunt also want to seize the elixir of immortality? Yang Hao was also a little curious and asked Zhang Wu. No. My aunt is not very old, so the elixir of death is not attractive to me. It's Lu Yan's business. Zhang Wu didn't show off, and said directly to Yang Hao, I have found a way these days. Lu Yan's nirvana divine body is closely related to the ancient phoenix clan. If a pure blood phoenix could be found and watered with its true blood, it would be impossible to repair Lu Yan's divine body. It's just that with the end of the ancient era, all major races have left Zaiwei Star. Now it is rare to see pure blood phoenixes in Zaiwei Star. Coincidentally, a few days ago, there was news from the immortal disciples who were exploring Shiwanda Mountain that a pure blood phoenix was attracted by the elixir of immortality and was revealed. Zhang Wu's words made Yang Hao suddenly realize, and he immediately said, in this case, it's just a good time to go on a journey. Kindness. Bring Lu Yan with you. Although her nirvana body is incomplete, she should be able to connect with the pure blood phoenix. When her divine body recovers, she will be qualified to become your follower. Yang Hao nodded when he heard this and said, no problem, I'll call Lu Yan up right away. The group of 3 people set off directly from the Holy Land of Eternal Life and headed towards Shiwanda Mountain. When Yang Hao and others arrived at Shiwanda's Han, they were 3,000 miles away from Shiwanda Mountain in a desolate wilderness. Another person went to die. In an extremely dilapidated tea shop, which was only used for practitioners coming and going to rest, there was a young figure in Tsingyi sitting on a chair and drinking tea leisurely. Good. He smiled softly, shaking the teacup in his hand with his wrist in boredom. 3 days left. Thank you for paving the way for me. The young figure looked at the cultivators or flying boats flying by in the sky from time to time. There were many old monsters among them. His slightly squinted eyes showed a contented look. He enjoyed playing with these powerful old monsters very much. the pleasure in the palm of his hand. Especially now that he is an eternal giant, he has easily made many saints and sages wither like rain. At this time, the young figure looked at the sky in the distance, and another familiar red blood cloud appeared. He raised his eyebrows, smiled and said to himself, the 74th. 7 more, and the total number is 99, which is enough to open the real true world divine formation. In the last life, this amazing opportunity was finally obtained by Fang Li. It's a pity that in this life, Fang Li died in Yao Guang's hands. And I have the key to the true world in my hand, the elixir of immortality and the accompanying treasure. Nothing can escape my grasp. This young figure is a little excited in his heart. He is naturally Lin Feng. If we follow the normal trajectory, it will actually be 3 days before anyone discovers the birth of the elixir of immortality. Until then, there will be a bloody storm. But this thing, the 100,000 mountains in the domain, had already become extremely lively half a year ago, attracting many old monsters. There is no doubt that these are Lin Feng's designs. With the methods of the quasi-emperor in his previous life, plus the addition of the 100,000 mountains, a real elixir of immortality has been released, but no one has any clues about it. Unfortunately. All your efforts are to make me a wedding dress. Lin Feng chuckled and drank down the tea in his hand, looking forward to it in 3 days. This is the most anticipated and biggest opportunity since his rebirth. I took away the villain's son. Author, the Great Onmyoji. Chapter 124. In the eastern region, there are hundreds of thousands of mountains. This place is rolling, with endless desolate and tall mountains connected together. There are countless ferocious beasts, poisonous insects, and demonic plants hidden in it. It can be said that it is an extremely dangerous place. Even powerful people must go together when they come here. But recently, there have been too many scary old monsters coming. All things are animistic. Sensing the arrival of these terrifying old monsters, many intelligent creatures choose to hide. As a result, the originally dangerous Shiwandashan became somewhat peaceful. However, don't look at how peaceful Shiwandashan is now. In fact, too many people have died here. As far as my aunt knows, there have been 75 blood clouds rising in the past 6 months. A flying boat landed outside Shiwanda Mountain, and Zhongwu's voice sounded. On the flying boat, 3 figures appeared. They were Zhongwu, Yang Hao, and Lu Yan. Those who become saints are all connected by luck with the Ziwei star. Even the death of a quasi-sage will be sensed by the Ziwei star, which will rain blood on him to commemorate his death. Yang Hao's eyes narrowed. He was busy practicing before. He only knew that even the ancestor Kangming fell in the 100,000 mountains, but he did not expect that blood clouds would rise 75 times in the 100,000 mountains. This means there, a total of 75 old monsters whose cultivation had reached at least the quasi-sage realm fell here. He cheered up. Although he was not afraid, he understood what Zhongwu meant. Since he came to such a dangerous place, he be in awe. Too many talented people died of arrogance and were defeated by themselves. Holy Lord, you are wrong. The blood cloud appeared again yesterday and has risen 76 times. The old shadow demon in Kinkan Holy Land also died. At this time, a soft voice suddenly came. Then, a slender figure appeared, but it was a woman who looked like a young woman. Waiter. When Zhongwu saw this figure, she showed a rare smile. The second elder. Yang Hao also looked at this young woman. He had some impression that this woman was the second elder of the Holy Land of Eternal Life. Compared with the rigidity of the first elder, this second elder looked charming and loved to laugh. But Yang Hao knew that this was all a disguise. This second elder is actually a smiling fox, with countless blood under his hands, and is feared by many people. But he is not afraid. Because, this second elder is a follower of Zhongwu. At this time, She happened to be in Shiwen Das Han, sits in charge and restrains the disciples of the Holy Land. Not only that, in Yang Hao's memory, the second elder seems to be particularly doting on him. But the original holy son of Yao Guang was very annoying and often avoided the second elder. Long time no see, little Yao Guang is getting better and better. I heard about your record. The second elder smiled charmingly and hugged Yang Hao. He felt extremely close. Yang Hao suddenly felt helpless. The shadow of the second elder overlapped with that in his memory. All right. Let's talk about the current situation of Shiwen Das Han. Zhang Wu's faint voice sounded. The second elder froze, but continued to hug Yang Hao and said with a smile, Holy Lord, there is not much difference between the 100,000 mountains and the original one. It's just that there is an extra true realm divine formation in the depths. Whoever goes there will die. I don't recommend that you go. Holy Lord, your cultivation will be suppressed to the level of an eternal giant. Little Yao Guang's strength is not enough. As for this little girl. The second elder glanced lightly and continued to say with a smile, if you really go in, you won't survive for 3 seconds. Lu Yan was a little timid when he heard this. Apparently, her soul now is that of a kind sister. I'm not here to find the elixir of immortality. Can I still find that pure blood phoenix? Zhang Wu asked directly. You guys are a step late. That flat-haired beast just entered the true world divine formation yesterday, and he probably won't live long, the second elder said immediately. Yang Hao was helplessly hugged by the second elder and said casually, then let's go in and take a look. He is indeed coming for the true world divine array. He wants to check whether the true world divine array is related to the true world divine key. In addition, if he can find many more mutated gods like the sky-breaking divine crystal, things, not bad. Little Flucklight, don't you think about it anymore. Many old monsters really died in the true world divine formation, and there is great terror inside. Hearing Yang Hao's words, the somewhat undisciplined second elder unexpectedly reminded Yang Hao seriously, looking very concerned. Thank you, second elder, for your concern. If it is really dangerous, I will do what I can. Yang Hao responded with a smile. All right. The second elder looked at Zhang Wu and followed Yang Hao's wishes. Knowing that they were about to leave, he reluctantly threw a jade slip to Zhang Wu. Take it, take it. This is the record of my recent exploration into the true realm of gods. Holy Lord, you are the protector of little Yao Guang, so you must protect him. After hearing the words of the second elder, Yang Hao was speechless. He would not survive more than 3 seconds if he opened his mouth. If he closed his mouth, he would be in danger of life and death. As a result, he had already gone in alone. Nu. Let's go. Zhang Wu was as cold as ever to everyone except Yang Hao. She just responded calmly to the second elder, and then flew away again with Yang Hao and Lu Yan. Don't find her annoying, she is really worried about you. Xiao's life was given by your mother. The flying boat was flying in the air. Zhang Wu understood Yang Hao's character, so she said to Yang Hao. Mother. Yang Hao was stunned when he heard the words. He didn't have any big objections to the second elder, but he heard Zhang Wu talking about his mother. In the memory of Holy Son Yao Guang, his mother had almost no impression. When he had memory, he knew that his mother had died. As for the others, he didn't know anything about it. He didn't expect that the second elder, who had at least reached the level of quasi-sage, actually has such a relationship with herself. No wonder the second elder still likes Yao Guang Holy Son very much despite his unruly and bad temper. Zhang Wu never mentioned this, probably because of Yao Guang's past. The Son of God has such a bad temper that he cannot communicate normally at all. Mother, what's going on? Yang Hao asked casually, not really wanting to know. He came here to seize the body, and he didn't have much emotional ties. It's just that he was already in the Shiwanda mountain realm at this time, and he was rushing to the true realm god array by flying boat. It should be, it won't take too long. In the spirit of idleness, Yang Hao asked casually. Your mother? She is a more powerful existence than my aunt. Unfortunately, she had bad luck and failed to achieve enlightenment. Zhang was a little hesitant when she heard Yang Hao's inquiry. If it was the original Yang Hao, she would definitely have never mentioned it. But now Yang Hao has grown up and in Zhang opinion, he can take charge of his own business, so she said. Promise. Yang Hao narrowed his eyes. He knew very well that in this era, this word cannot be used carelessly. Only strong men close to the emperor dare to prove it. His mother is actually a quasi-emperor? This makes Yang Hao somewhat unexpected. Such a strong man fell suddenly. Thinking of his fate as a villain again. Yang Hao's heart trembled. Could it be that his mother had caused some strange developments inexplicably? Yes. These are still too far away from you. Your mother died normally, and there is no need for enemies or revenge, so don't think too much about it. But at this moment, Zhang glanced at Yang Hao with a half-smile and then said lazily. When Yang Hao heard this, he let go of the big stone in his heart. But there is also something related to you. Auntie, do the math. Well, it should be about 95 years old. When the time comes, your mother has a gift for you. Zhang said casually to Yang Hao. Gift. Interesting. When Yang Hao heard this, he became more and more curious, and was about to continue asking. Okay, here we are. Let's go. Fiazhu paused, and Zhang said suddenly. After hearing this, Yang Hao immediately gathered his attention back, his eyes serious. The True Realm God Formation. He sensed the True Realm Divine Key in Wei Tower, but it still remained motionless, without any movement. Does it not work, or does it need to enter the True World Divine Formation? Yang Hao thought for a while, but couldn't figure it out. The three of them quickly flew towards the True World Divine Formation. As far as the eye could see, there was an extremely dense forest, surrounded by valleys. But Yang Hao could see it very clearly. Feeling the surging spiritual energy tide, the True World Divine Formation is in the forest below. Such a rich aura is like a world-ancient tree growing. Yang Hao suddenly sighed with emotion. Maybe there is. Zhang smiled slightly and reminded Yang Hao and Lu Yan, after you two enter the battle, you must follow me closely. There are not only threats from the True World Divine Formation, but also those old monsters that cannot be trusted. Lu Yan, if you sense anything, just tell me. Lu Yan, who heard Zhang words, immediately said, I seem to feel a breath attracting me. Very good. Zhang Wu's beautiful eyes brightened when she heard this, and she said to Lu Yan, always tell me the direction. The three of them flew directly towards the entrance of the True Realm Divine Formation. But at this moment, another blood cloud condensed in the sky, and blood rain fell pattering down. The 77th holy level. Yang Hao looked at the blood cloud and became more cautious. There is no doubt that at the moment they entered the True Realm God Array, another saint level fell in it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 125. The three of them entered the True World Divine Formation without any hesitation. The scenery inside the Divine Formation is no different from what it looks like from the outside, as if you are really in the forest. The gurgling water and the green trees make everything seem extraordinarily quiet and peaceful. Master, be careful. Just as he entered, Yunyan's reminder came to his ears. Yang Hao paused slightly. With his supreme level array master cultivation, he could almost feel the terrifying murderous intent. He looked at Zhang extremely cold face in front of him. On the back, the aura was gradually declining. Although he couldn't see much difference, he could still sense the change in Zhang aura. Without thinking too much, he knew that Zhongwu's sage cultivation was directly suppressed to the eternal giant. Class. Follow me closely. Zhongwu turned back to Yang Hao and said with solemn eyes. She could also feel the murderous intent, but she did not see any crisis in her eyes. In the left direction. Lu Yan's voice came. After entering the killing array, Lu Yan became extremely calm. Needless to say, the soul in her body switched again, and her sister had appeared. Walk. Zhongwu said, and the three of them went in the direction pointed by Lu Yan. The true world divine key still didn't respond. Yang Hao was a little strange. Logically speaking, the true world divine array was a divine array set up by the great emperor of creation. How could there be no movement of the true world divine key? Although he felt a little surprised in his heart, Yang Hao did not continue to think deeply. He never put your hope in nothingness. Yunyin, can you see the clues of the true world divine formation? Yang Hao stared at his surroundings and asked Yunyin. I can only see a little bit of the doorway. This divine formation is too complex, far more than any other formation in the forest of 10,000 method steles. Never go near water. Yang Hao understood clearly after hearing this. He also saw that the formation patterns in the true realm divine formation were completely messy, extremely mysterious, and it was impossible to see the rules. But as a supreme level array master, he could also vaguely see that in the true world there is no water at all in the divine formation. All the water is formed by extremely complex formation patterns. If you step in without permission, you will definitely die. The three of them kept walking forward under Lu Yan's direction. Their speed it was not fast, but he was very lucky and did not encounter any dangers along the way. Not only that, Yang Hao also frequently picked up extremely rare immortal gold and magic iron, exotic grass and immortal flowers, and even a handle of Ji-Dao along the way. The divine weapon suddenly appeared in ripples from the void and fell at Yang Hao's feet, but nothing abnormal happened at all. When Zhongwu and Lu Yan saw this scene, they couldn't help but look weird. According to the information given by the waiter, the true realm god formation is extremely dangerous, and great terror may strike at any moment. If a king like Lu Yan enters alone, he will not even survive for 3 seconds. Now after entering for such a long time, he didn't encounter anything at all. Instead, he got a lot of treasures. Hao is really a person with great luck. Zhongwu asked herself that her luck was not low, but it had never been as exaggerated as that of Yang Hao. When others came to the true realm divine formation, they were almost alive and struggling at the line of life and death. They were always on the line of life and death. But it's like going on an outing. Even so, Hao, don't take it lightly. Zhongwu was afraid that Yang Hao would lose his vigilance, so she reminded him again. They had gradually penetrated into the true realm god array, and the environment began to become darker, but a strange and incomparable fragrance began to float in the air, making people extremely intoxicated. Along the way the three of them have also sensed the figures of other practitioners passing by from a distance. However, those who can enter the true realm god array are almost all great practitioners who can stand alone. Everyone is looking for the elixir of immortality, unless their peers enter. Otherwise they will not trust each other, let alone have an intersection. Once there is an intersection, it will definitely be a life and death battle. What is that? Yang Hao suddenly spoke. Looking ahead, a flawless and pure white figure appeared. Ice crystal spirit dragon, be careful. It is not affected by the true world divine formation. It is a creature with a cultivation level of at least quasi-holy level and a violent temperament. Zhongwu frowned slightly when she saw the flawless and pure white figure in front of her. Her attainments in formations were not low, so she could easily sense that almost all practitioners who entered the true realm divine formation were trapped. She felt a layer of mysterious and endless formation shackles. But she did not sense any restraints on the ice crystal spirit dragon in front of her. Zhang Wu immediately remembered that it was mentioned in the information given to her by the second elder. There are powerful beings in the world god formation. Their strength exceeds that of the eternal giants, and they are a very terrifying threat. Before, Zhang Wu was still lamenting that with the help of Yang Hao's luck, she did not encounter any crisis along the way. Unexpectedly, she would encounter a crisis immediately. If her cultivation had not been suppressed, Zhang Wu could kill the violent creature in front of her with one finger. But now that her cultivation was suppressed, although Zhang Wu was not afraid, she was worried about suppressing this ice crystal spirit dragon, causing a chain reaction. "Auntie, something is wrong." Yang Hao suddenly spoke at this moment. He carefully looked at the quasi-holy level ice crystal spirit dragon he found in the distance, and said in a strange tone, "This ice crystal spirit dragon has a very chaotic aura. Seems to have been hit hard." Zhang Wu was stunned, her beautiful eyes flashed and she took a closer look. Immediately, she took action without hesitation. In less than a moment, Zhang Wu killed the seriously injured ice crystal spirit dragon. It must have been fought against before. This ice crystal spirit dragon was very powerful before it was injured. Its enemy must have been killed. However, the opponent is not weak, so when the ice crystal spirit dragon flew here, it was already exhausted, and there was still seemingly endless power swallowing it up. Even with its quasi-sage cultivation, it would take a long time to recuperate. "Then, we were unfortunately bumped into," Zhang Wu said slowly, remembering that when they entered before, there was another burst of blood rain in the sky. Being able to defeat a violent creature that has reached the quasi-saint level with the eternal giant realm, there is a high probability that it is not just the eternal giant. Therefore, Zhang Wu only had a second thought and deduced the truth. Zhang Wu took a deep look at Yang Hao and knew that it was not her luck to meet this ice crystal spirit dragon. The son of luck. Such an idea suddenly popped into Zhang Wu's mind. Based on their experiences in the true world divine formation, Yang Hao is indeed worthy of being the son of destiny. This ice crystal spirit dragon is full of treasures and can be used to cultivate a killing array for Hao. Its dragon beads are extremely precious and can increase your lifespan by at least 1,000 years, making them priceless. Zhang Wu handed this ice crystal spirit dragon to Yang Hao, obviously directly treating it as a trophy for Yang Hao. It turned out to be a divine item that could increase longevity. Yang Hao was not polite to Zhang Wu. There was no need. He lamented the value of this ice crystal spirit dragon. Even if you don't count the Dragon Ball, it is comparable to the Duankong divine crystal sent back by Fang Qingying. The three of them, the ice crystal spirit dragon, collected the ice crystal spirit dragon and prepared to continue forward. However, he never thought that there were all kinds of supernatural beings in the true world god formation. Not far away from the three people, there were three old monsters from the Yin and Yang Holy Land. They were extremely miserable in the true world god array. Walking in the formation. From the moment they stepped into the true realm divine formation, they encountered continuous attacks from various killing formations. Not only that, there were also various powerful creatures attacking and killing them. Fortunately, they came from the same holy land and cooperated. They have a tacit understanding and are proficient in formations. Although they are extremely miserable, they are not in danger of falling. At this time, the oldest old monster suddenly looked forward, and an inexplicable projection of a picture came, as if it appeared out of thin air. That's the Ice Crystal Spirit Dragon. Ice Crystal Dragon Ball. The eyes of this old monster, who was almost as old as Kangming's ancestor, suddenly shone. It is indeed a divine formation set up by the great emperor. There are too many living beings affected by the immortal medicine. The Dragon Ball of this Ice Crystal Spirit Dragon can increase the lifespan by at least 2,000 years. Ancestor Kimu, how about killing these three people and seizing the treasure? Next to the most senile old monster is an old woman in a yin-yang Taoist robe. She also has greed in her eyes. They have survived from the Dark Age to the present, and their only extravagant wish is to continue living. Is that a girl from the Zhang family? She has grown so big in a blink of an eye. When Emperor Qin brought her back from the Zhang family, she was still a little girl. The third person, a kind-faced old man with a long beard, looked at the projection and recalled. Emperor Qin has fallen. It would be fine if the Zhang family girl handed over this Dragon Ball. If she refuses to pay, then send her to see Emperor Qin. Ancestor Qi Mu coughed and decided. After living to their age and being able to enter the true world divine array to find the elixir of immortality, they no longer care too much. As for the face, it is also for survival and can be thrown away at any time. Killing people and grabbing treasures, it seems like I'm back to my youth again. Their position, in that direction. The long-bearded old man said with a smile. He just kept counting his fingers and calculated the location of Yang Hao and the others based on the projected image. These three old monsters reached a tacit understanding in just a few words without hesitation. They headed towards the direction where Yang Hao and the others were. I took away the villain's son. Author, the Great Onmyoji. Chapter 126. Look up and look at the sky. Blood clouds gathered and blood rain poured down. In the true world divine formation, the blood rain is isolated. Another saint has fallen. 78. Yang Hao doesn't know whether the fallen saint is a quasi-sage or a sage. For him, he doesn't need to care. He just reminds himself not to relax his vigilance just because his luck is against the heavens. In the true world divine formation, there are too many strong men have fallen. The shadow of the tower also solidified. Yang Hao sensed the ancient killing array in his body, and his eyes flickered. It has been more than 3 days since he entered the true realm divine array. In these 3 days, he obtained a large number of treasures. Rare treasures such as the sky-breaking divine crystal. And gained a lot. Naturally, under the refining of the system, his ancient killing formation was once again improved. Another shadow of the weapon solidified. Not only that, because the solid gun shadow of the sky-breaking divine crystal also began to emit precious light, it seemed that there was a spiritual birth in the dark. Lingbao. Yang Hao thought thoughtfully. The so-called spirituality is not birth wisdom. This is his ancient killing formation. In essence, it is no different from his flesh and blood, more similar to the billions of cells in the body. Spirituality refers to it was the spear shadow that began to have strange phenomena. It was very likely that when it was sacrificed by Yang Hao, it would shake the world. There are times when I look forward to your appearance. Yang Hao has some expectations in his heart. However, be careful. At this moment, Zhang Wu's voice came. Yang Hao's eyes were slightly cold, and his figure disappeared instantly. Great teleportation power. Just now, he keenly sensed the terrifying murderous intent. Ding! The moment he appeared, a terrifying sharp edge flashed and made a crisp sound. The Immortal King's creation map automatically protected the Lord and blocked this sharp edge. This mysterious treasure obtained from the 9-colored heavenly gate was evolving for Yang Hao. After the killing formation, he has been silent in Yang Hao's sea of spiritual energy. This is the first time he has been a rare protector. It seems that he is being targeted. Yang Hao glanced at this moment and found 3 figures. An old woman, an old man, and an old man with a long beard. These 3 people appeared directly, exuding a monstrous aura. Each of them has reached the level of an eternal giant. Don't think too much, if it weren't for being suppressed by the true realm god array, the 3 people who suddenly appeared would probably be saints. Yang Hao's mind turned, his posture was alert, and he glanced at Zhang Wu and Lu Yan from the corner of his eye. Zhang Wu was left alone in the world. As graceful as a fairy. Obviously, the sudden attack by the 3 people did not hurt Zhang Wu. But Lu Yan was much miserable. Her head was broken and her body was lying aside. As soon as they met, she was killed by the 3 people. Yang Hao he frowned. It had been less than 10 years since Lu Yan's last death. He didn't expect that he would be killed again this time. Lu Yan was an incomplete nirvana body, and he didn't know if he could still be resurrected this time. But Yang Hao sensed something. Afterwards, he discovered that the soul contract he had signed with Lu Yan was not broken at this moment. In the face of a powerful enemy, he had no time to continue to perceive carefully, but looked towards the front of him. "Girl Zhang, you should recognize us. Hand over the ice crystal dragon ball, Kylan fruit, and blue frost rain and dew. And this picture of this kid." The old men left now. The old man glanced at the immortal king's creation picture that Yang Hao had appeared with some surprise. His extremely long lifespan allowed him to tell at a glance that Yang Hao's immortal king's creation picture was not extraordinary. Originally, the three of them had done mental calculations without any intention. They could take action 2 days ago. However, they found that Zhang Wu and his party had incredible luck and gained a lot along the way. They even obtained a few magical objects that could increase longevity. Naturally, the three of them wanted to fatten up the pigs before killing them. Have waited until now. They couldn't help it. There are too many good things in Yang Hao's hands. The biggest characteristic of these old monsters being able to live for a long time is that they know how to advance and retreat. They understand very well that endless greed will only bury yourself. In their opinion, the artifacts Zhang Wu and others have obtained are enough to satisfy the three of them. Even if they did not get the elixir of immortality during this trip, the result is enough to satisfy them. "Auntie, how many can you kill?" Yang Hao narrowed his eyes and said to Zhang Wu. "An old monster from Yin Yang Holy Land with rich experience." "Maximum 2. Zhang Wu also frowned at this moment. The true world divine formation is always in danger, so she has always been vigilant. If there are 3 saints with rotten blood outside the true world divine formation, she can fight alone. But now, she can only hold back and kill 1 at most, and if she spends some time, she can kill 2 people. She knows what Yang Hao means, and also knows many of Yang Hao's secrets, and Zhang Wu's character is by no means weak. Generation. So, the one who wants to steal my immortal king's creation map, leave it to me." The next moment Yang Hao just transmitted the message to Zhang Wu. He galloped directly towards the old man. From the beginning to the end, facing the looting of these 3 old monsters, there was no response and no room for maneuver. Since having already taken action against them, Yang Hao's natural choice is to fight to the death. He is not a reckless person who dares to step into the true world divine array. Of course, he has already understood the true world divine array. Even without Zhang Wu, he still dares entering alone. How could you not expect this? "Yunyin." "Yes, master." Yang Hao said calmly in his heart, and the aura on his body rose steadily in the next moment. In just the blink of an eye, the aura rose from the king to the realm of the divine king. When Xiao Qing'er was able to combine with Yunyin to improve his cultivation, he can naturally do the same. Yang Hao, whose strength has reached the level of a divine king, shows off his sharp aura and kills the old man. Remarkably brave. He dared to take action against the old man with just this method. When the old man saw Yang Hao coming to kill him, he chuckled. He didn't know Yang Hao. He didn't care about Yang Hao's sudden method of improving his realm. He had seen too many such secret methods. This is not surprising. He is about to die. Usually silent in the depths of the Holy Land, naturally he would not deliberately understand the genius of this era. Because in the eyes of an old monster like him, those who are not saints are just ants after all. So when he saw Yang Hao fighting back so brazenly, in the silent old eyes, a hint of fun flashed. It was as if the giant saw the ants jumping towards him and found it interesting. Then, just trample them to death. The old man raised his hand and made a clean wave Tao incomparably mysterious fluctuations. It was a certain kind of fighting method, and the control of power went beyond the extreme. On the other side, Zhang Wu also instantly brought the other two people into the battlefield. The war was about to break out. Die. The old man saw mysterious fluctuations washing around Yang Hao. He had already envisioned the scene where Yang Hao's body was completely broken. Listen to my aunt. You all seem to be dying of old age. Yang Hao suddenly spoke. His divine body instantly overflowed with precious light. Hundreds of defensive treasures appeared. At the same time, the immortal king's creation map also shone brilliantly. Waves came to his body. The precious light shattered like fireworks. Hundreds of excellent defense treasures appeared. The treasure was destroyed by the old man's wave in an instant. Fortunately, the immortal king's creation map was very terrifying and completely absorbed the final aftermath. At the same time, Yang Hao was already close. Brat. Even if you die of old age, the power you control is beyond your imagination. The old man saw that Yang Hao appeared in front of him unscathed under his attack, and his silent eyes fluctuated slightly. However, he didn't care too much. He has been practicing for too long. He just solved the problem in front of him. This confident little guy can think of 180,000 ways to do it. Oh! When Yang Hao heard this, he didn't care. In his hands, two ancient divine swords appeared. The supreme killing sword came out to kill. At the same time, a terrifying aura surged out. The ancient killing array appeared. What kind of killing array is this? Sensing the terrifying aura of the prehistoric killing array, the old man's face changed slightly. He knew that this might be Yang Hao's trump card. But, he was still too young. If the trump card is revealed too early, it will no longer be the trump card. The old man disappeared instantly, and the edge of the supreme killing sword failed. In his hand, a strange treasure appeared. It was a treasure like a gourd. Photographed. The old man said calmly. He. Yang Hao sensed that the ancient killing array began to tremble faintly the moment the old man appeared, and even collapsed, but he smiled nonchalantly. I have many trump cards. Which one do you want? Yang Hao suddenly spoke and smiled lightly. Saint Onling appeared. Almost instantly, Saint Onling's cultivation level dropped to the level of an eternal giant. But it shocked the old man. There was actually another person, and he didn't even notice it. The divine sword of time. However, at the moment when the old man was surprised, Yang Hao's supreme magical power came in an instant. At the moment when the old man thought that his trump card was the Saint of Onling, the magical power was instantaneous and had already landed in his body. Immediately, the old man's pupils shrank sharply. The aura began to wane rapidly. The lifespan that was already running low was cut off by Yang Hao in an instant. What kind of magical power is this? The old man's eyes widened, full of shock. But it was useless. The divine sword of time has supreme magical power. It can cut off longevity and be invincible. From the beginning, Yang Hao's trump card has been the supreme magical power. The old man fell. When he died, he still felt incredible. He never thought that he would die of old age in an instant. One of the three people was missing. On the other hand, Zhang Wu took action domineeringly, 1 against 2, and also killed one of the old women. He was seriously injured and dying. There was no suspense in the battle. Since Yang Hao had released Saint Onling, he had no intention of letting any of them go. After he killed the old man, even if the other two wanted to escape, there was no way. Possibility. This time, when Yang Hao could not use the magical power of the years again for a short time, Yang Hao directly used the ancient killing array. After combining with Yunyin, the terrifying killing array power became even more sharp and earth-shattering. In just 3 minutes later, the three old monsters who could suppress the Holy Land's secrets and had supreme status in the outside world were surrounded and killed by Zhang Wu, Yang Hao, and Onling Saint. At the same time, 3 blood clouds appeared in the sky. Appeared. 81 saint-level practitioners fell into the true world God formation. At the same time, the true world God formation underwent great changes after the blood cloud appeared. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 127. Just as 3 blood clouds slowly appeared, the heaven and earth began to shake. One after another, Wang-yang-like auras began to appear. If you look at the entire true world divine formation from the outside, you will find that it is gradually undergoing earth-shaking changes. Every piece of space and every piece of land is slowly intertwining and disappearing. Space and time seem to be getting confused. But everyone in the true realm divine formation did not seem to feel much change, but they could faintly feel that the divine formation was slowly shaking. However, something seems to have happened to the true world divine formation, so be careful. Zhongwu was keenly aware of the changes in the true world divine formation at this moment and immediately reminded Yang Hao. Yang Hao nodded after hearing this. He faced various dangers at any time in the true world divine formation. The biggest crisis came from the formation itself. Threaten. The power of the prehistoric killing formation is indeed very terrifying. The old woman just now was caught off guard and was directly killed by the spear shadow in my prehistoric killing formation. At this moment, Yang Hao recalled that after killing the old man, he joined Zhongwu's battle group. When his magical power could not be used again in a short period of time, his ancient killing array showed its edge for the first time and was contaminated by these old monsters. This kind of power made Yang Hao very satisfied. It was already a bit more powerful than when he used Onling Saint as a tool man for testing. If I just use the prehistoric killing array to stir up the power more than 10 times, my sea of spiritual energy will dry up. If the spirit treasures in the great desolate killing formation are stirred up, the power can be stirred up about 3 times. Yang Hao began to summarize at this moment. If he can clearly understand himself, he will exert great power in battle. Of course, with Yang Hao's current state, the sudden change in his mind is just a thought. He saw looking at Lu Yan's body at this moment, the blood has dried up. Is the soul contract broken? Zhongwu also frowned at this moment and looked at Lu Yan's body, and asked Yang Hao. Not yet. Should be able to be resurrected. However, less than 10 years had passed since her last death, so even if she was resurrected this time, she would probably be severely damaged. Yang Hao looked at Lu Yan's body and sensed the soul contract signed with Lu Yan. He could sense that Lu Yan's soul aura was extremely weak at this moment. If she died again, her incomplete nirvana body might never be seen again. Cannot be resurrected? Then just wait here for her resurrection. Zhongwu also took a look at Lu Yan's body, and then walked towards the bodies of the other 3 old monsters. As expected, his energy is almost exhausted and he has no treasure left. It's better than nothing. Hearing Zhongwu's words, Yang Hao looked over. He found that Zhongwu's jade hand fell directly into the sea of spiritual energy in the bodies of the 3 old monsters, and forcefully snatched out one treasure after another. After reaching the realm of saints, the sea of spiritual energy is as stable as a small world, and even if it falls, it will only slowly collapse. At this time, Yunying quietly explained to Yang Hao. Counting the Bingfeng ancestor who was killed in the Eternal Holy Land a long time ago, this was only the 2nd time that Yang Hao killed a saint. He looked at Zhongwu with interest. A large number of treasures were seized from the sea of spiritual energy of these 3 old monsters, each of which was extremely precious. It was not like Zhongwu said that there would be no treasures when their energy was exhausted. On the contrary, Yang Hao also saw many extremely valuable treasures from them. Things of value. But Yang Hao did not hover his eyes over these treasures, but carefully watched Zhongwu's exquisite figure rise and fall. Zhongwu's style of killing people and taking treasures was very different from that moment in his memory. The domineering Holy Lord was completely different. He knew that Zhongwu must have despised the treasures of these old monsters, but instead grabbed them for himself. Because of this, Yang Hakai felt a little warm in his heart. Alright. Except for a few Jideo magic weapons, there is nothing valuable. However, you can collect it yourself. At this time, Zhongwu's voice came. Yang Hao nodded slightly and said softly, "Thank you, Auntie. You little guy, if your aunt hadn't seen these three old monsters today, she would have run away." Zhang Wu glanced at Yang Hao in surprise after hearing this, and said casually, "Good." Yang Hao chuckled. He was also feeling emotional just now. He turned to look at the divine objects that Zhang Wu had grabbed. Many of them were of great use to him in cultivating the killing array. Among them was a Jideo divine weapon, which turned out to be extremely powerful. A rare defensive Jideo magic weapon, a black robe. According to Yang Hao's knowledge, Zhiwei Star divides various magic weapons and treasures into mortal weapons, treasure weapons, magic weapons, and Jideo magic weapons. And the Jideo Emperor weapon. Among them, the Jideo divine weapon is divided into grades 1 to 9. The higher the grade, the more powerful it is. Generally speaking, from the powerful to the Emperor, almost all of them use divine weapons. It is just a difference in grade. And the Jideo divine weapon, often have spirituality, which can only be possessed by those who have reached the level of quasi-sage cultivation. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, Fang Qingying was recognized by the Jideo divine weapon during his princely period and owned a Jideo divine weapon. With his status, ever since he came to this world, even the daily necessities for food and clothing have been at the level of treasures. The divine weapons that he can use all start at the 5th level. After he became the chief holy son, he owned too many treasures. For him now, the Jideo divine weapons are not something he looks down upon, especially the defensive Jideo divine weapons, which are even rarer. Therefore, Yang Hao collected all these treasures without hesitation. "Son." At this moment, Yang Hao suddenly heard a weak voice. "Resurrected. How does it feel?" Yang Hao looked at the source of the sound and saw Lu Yan's face was extremely pale again, and she stood up tremblingly. Her breath was very unstable, and she was even weaker than the time Yang Hao saw before at Yaoguang Immortal Peak. Obviously, this resurrection has almost exhausted the foundation of her incomplete divine body, leaving her with great vitality. "My sister is asleep. It hasn't been long enough since the last resurrection, and the state is very bad." Lu Yan was silent for a moment after hearing this, and then immediately said to Yang Hao, "No problem. If we can find that pure blood phoenix, there should still be hope. Can you still feel the breath?" Before Yang Hao could think about it, Zhang Wu, who knew the Nirvana divine body better, came with a faint voice. "Able. Moreover, the perception is clearer." Lu Yan bit her lip and said immediately. She knew this was her last chance. Although the incomplete Nirvana divine body regained its balance after Yang Hao injected the soul contract. But that was just a stopgap measure. The incomplete Nirvana divine body had flaws. It was too big, and no one knew whether there would be a new accident one day. So when they learned that the pure blood phoenix had a chance to make up for its shortcomings, the two of them immediately agreed without hesitation. Regarding the fall, before entering the true realm god formation, the two of them were already mentally prepared. But now she was resurrected. Although she suffered another heavy blow, compared to the despair before, this time there was hope. She understood that this was not only to save herself, but also to save her sister. The last chance. Because of this, she felt even more grateful to Yang Hao and Zhang Wu. For her, the strength of the pure blood phoenix was extremely terrifying. With her own strength, it was impossible to find the pure blood phoenix. "Let's go," Yang Hao said casually. This time he came to the true world divine array and gained a lot now. As long as he finds the pure blood phoenix, it can be considered complete. As for the immortal medicine, the true world divine key has no effect. He was prepared to act according to the opportunity. The three of them set off on the road again under the guidance of Lu Yan, but it was obvious that the divine formation had undergone terrible changes. More and more corpses of practitioners appeared. Broken space and time were everywhere. Even if Yang Hao is enveloped by luck, he can still sense that the great terror is approaching. Master, the changes in the true realm divine formation have just begun. I can sense that the formation patterns in the entire divine formation have become extremely active at this moment. Yunyan immediately reminded Yang Hao. Kindness. While Yang Hao was nodding, the heaven and the earth suddenly began to shake. In the true realm God formation, the medicinal fragrance that was originally exuding in the air suddenly became extremely strong. Just after taking a sip, he became 100 times more energetic, and the spiritual power in his body was continuously generated. Even Lu Yan, who was in extremely bad condition, began to look rosy. The miracle medicine is about to be released. The changes in the divine formation have become even more bizarre. Zhang Wu's expression suddenly changed. Faced with the strange sight of the medicinal fragrance, she immediately whispered, "Let's go out of the formation. If you stay any longer, you will definitely die." The implication of her words was obviously to give up looking for the pure blood phoenix. Zhang Wu keenly captured the extremely dangerous aura. Before entering the true realm divine formation, she was confident in her heart. But it was different now. She had a premonition. If she stayed in the divine formation any longer, even she might die. Compared to Yang Hao's life, Lu Yan gave up when he gave up. Not just Zhang Wu's voice. "Master, go quickly. It turns out that the previous true realm divine formation has never been opened. If we don't leave, we will all die when the true world divine formation opens." At this moment, Yang Hao's ears kept hearing Yunyan's urging. When Yang Hao heard this, he was slightly startled. He showed a look of surprise, clasped his hands and smiled. "It turns out that it hasn't been turned on yet. That's really good. Got it? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 128. The attraction of the elixir of immortality is indeed amazing, and 9 of them were gathered together so quickly. It should be one day before the elixir of immortality is released. Next, it was my turn to appear. Outside the true realm divine formation, 3 blood clouds floated in the sky, and the first moment the divine formation changed, a young figure suddenly appeared. He did not hesitate to move toward the true realm, which had obviously become more terrifying. Walking into the divine formation. This person was none other than Lin Feng. He was looking forward to it with great anticipation. The yellow square ancient jade appeared in his hand. Memories flashed in his mind, and countless scenes from the past emerged. No one knew better than him that this opportunity meant what. Let me, personally unveil the prelude to the arrival of this great world. Lin Feng strolled into the true world god array. As he walked in, the yellow ancient jade in his hand bloomed with amazing colors. The broken space and time seemed to have nothing to do with him. There was nothing in the true world god array. With murderous intentions, he completely ignored his existence. With the flickering yellow ancient jade, he was walking on flat ground in the true realm god formation. Along the way, wherever he saw, if any opportunity arose, he would be taken over easily by Lin Feng. He completely unscrupulous, even if any old monster appears to covet him, Lin Feng will immediately activate the yellow ancient jade, and then blood clouds will fall, and the old monster will easily wither in front of him. After the divine formation was opened, the Emperor of Creation did not appear. I, who have the key to the true world, am the only master of this true world divine formation. Lin Feng watched an old monster fall in front of him, like a wild dog dying, and he felt endless satisfaction in his heart. He enjoyed the pleasure of dominating everything. It's a pity that even if I have the key to the true world, I still need to break the 18 divine formations. We can't waste time here, we need to hurry up. Lin Feng quickly calmed down his emotions. After all, he was not the true creator of the true realm divine formation. He knew very well that even if he had the true realm treasure key, he would still have to overcome several difficulties later. So he did not waste time, but went very quickly. Flying in the true world god formation. Huh! Lin Feng was galloping all the way, but suddenly stopped, with a look of surprise on his face. I didn't expect that there would be a pure blood phoenix in the true realm divine formation. This is an extremely rare beast. I'm really lucky. I happen to be short of a mount, so it's yours. His eyes were shining, and in his eyes, a pure blood phoenix was transforming into tens of thousands of feet of divine fire to resist the murderous intention of the true world god array. Almost without any hesitation, Lin Feng's thoughts moved slightly, and the true world key in his hand flashed with divine light. Then the real world god array in the world god formation, more turbulent and terrifying killing blows appeared under his thoughts, instantly seriously injuring the originally vigorous pure blood phoenix. The next moment, Lin Feng watched with great satisfaction as the pure blood phoenix was seriously injured. Dying, the thought came again, and suddenly the aura of the killing array that almost killed the pure blood phoenix disappeared like an ebbing tide. Just when Lin Feng was about to fall down and subdue the pure blood phoenix, the true world divine array began to change dramatically. An incomparable movement, the strong medicinal fragrance wafted in, covering the entire true realm divine formation. How could it be so fast? It's almost time to be born. Lin Feng's face changed slightly. During this period in his previous life, he was not qualified to enter the true realm divine array at all. Many of what he knew were learned from the legends and classics passed down by later generations. Therefore, there will naturally be minor differences in some details. Difference. Lin Feng knew that he could no longer delay at this time. If it were delayed any longer, he might not be able to enter the real world, which would be a big loss for a small gain. I'll come back and suppress you when I get the chance. Lin Feng looked at the dying pure blood phoenix and activated the true world key. The next moment, the position and space of the pure blood phoenix in front of him was cut directly and hidden deep into the true world divine formation. That it is a position that is impossible to reach by flying or breaking through space. In Lin Feng's eyes, no one can be found from the true world divine formation except himself. After dealing with this pure blood phoenix, Lin Feng flew quickly towards it again. Go to the deepest part of the true world divine formation. The true divine key. At this time, Zhang Wu, who was about to leave, heard Yang Hao say and looked at him in surprise. Although she knew that Yang Hao had a shocking opportunity in the forest of 10,000 Dharma stels and even transformed Onling Saint. But the specifics how, but she didn't ask in detail. She listened to whatever Yang Hao said. Zhang Wu had originally planned to give up looking for the pure blood phoenix and leave with Yang Hao. But she didn't expect Yang Hao to suddenly laugh and tell her the key to the true world thing. Hao's luck is really surprising. Zhang Wu didn't expect that the true world divine key that Yang Hao obtained in the forest of 10,000 lost elves would come into play when the true world divine formation was activated. Great creation is very interesting. He often makes interesting designs in the divine formations he sets up. The true world God key has extremely high authority in the true world God formation. I have many privileges. With this thing, don't talk about looking for a pure-blooded phoenix in the divine formation. Even the elixir of immortality can be easily obtained unless the Emperor of Creation comes. Yang Hao said with a chuckle. He looked to his side and said to Lu Yan, hold my hand. Then he hesitated a little, and Yang Hao still said to Zhang Wu out of nowhere, Auntie, please hold my hand too. Hearing this, Zhang Wu looked at Yang Hao with a half-smiling look. But it was Shi Shiren who stretched out a jade hand to Yang Hao. It was gentle, and it was the first time that Yang Hao held Zhongwu's hand. His heart skipped a beat, and at the same time he held the same soft palm of Lu Yan's hand. Lu Yan, let go of your soul and sense the aura of that pure blood phoenix. When Yang Hao finished speaking, he saw the three figures flickering. Suddenly, the three figures disappeared from the true world divine formation and appeared in a broken space. Teleport. After Yang Hao activated the true world divine key, can actually ignore the great terror in the true realm god formation and teleport directly to other realms. This is. Lu Yan's eyes suddenly widened, and her weak voice suddenly became a little high-pitched. In front of her, there was a dying fiery red phoenix lying on the ground. Pure blood phoenix. This pure blood phoenix was also seriously injured. I don't know why the space was broken, allowing her to float outside the divine formation and not be attacked by the divine formation. At this time, Zhongwu took a deep look at Yang Hao with her beautiful eyes. She said slowly, this pure blood phoenix's injury is more serious than the previous ice crystal spirit dragon. It is an alien creature with obvious aura suppression. It is at least an emperor or even a quasi-holy pure-blooded phoenix. That's fine if it's outside. In the divine formation, this pure blood phoenix can rely on the power of its blood to exert greater strength than ordinary practitioners. Even I may not be able to suppress it. The meaning behind her words is self-evident. Such a powerful pure blood phoenix is now lying in front of them with only one breath left. You know, Zhongwu's original plan was to get a phoenix. Just blood. Haha, it seems you are lucky. Yang Hao heard the words and chuckled. Naturally, he heard the shock in Zhongwu's words, but he didn't care. Since they're all seriously injured like this, let's go straight to transformation. You can have as much phoenix blood as you want at that time. He simply waved his hand, and the Wei Tower flew out, suppressing the comatose pure blood phoenix into the Wei Tower. Lu Yan. You also go in and get some phoenix blood to try. Yang Hao said to Lu Yan. Next, he planned to go directly to find the elixir of immortality and seize the opportunity. Lu Yan is now seriously injured and her strength is too low. If it happens again like before, an old monster will kill her. If she is killed, then she really cannot be resurrected? Yes. When Lu Yan heard this, he naturally understood that he could not play any role now. It was better to enter the Wei Tower together and try to use phoenix blood to replenish the missing spirit body. Auntie, I'll go look for the elixir of immortality next. Do you have any objection? Yang Hao said to Zhongwu after taking Lu Yan into Wei Tower. Since there is a divine key to the true world, it is natural that the opportunity should be plundered, Zhongwu said without hesitation. Today is different from the past. She has fully seen the powerful effect of the true world divine key, and naturally she will not choose to retreat. An immortal medicine is an extremely rare thing for the Emperor this time. Too many old monsters have fallen into the true realm god array for the elixir of immortality that they have never seen before. Now that there is a chance, Zhongwu naturally agrees with Yang Hao to get it. Good. Yang Hao had long known that Zhongwu would agree, so he immediately took Zhongwu's hand and headed towards the source of the scent of medicine. In just a moment, Yang Hao arrived at the source. In just a moment, Yang Hao arrived at the source. The source at this moment is a door to space. You can vaguely see a few extremely powerful figures erupting with thousands of rays of light, shattering the divine soldiers to resist the attack of the killing array, and constantly flying into it. This is the core place of the true world divine formation. The elixir of immortality should be among them. Yang Hao said to Zhongwu, and the next moment he held Zhongwu's hand again and entered the door of space. The moment he entered the door of space again, Zhongwu's faint voice came to Yang Hao's ears. Little guy, the teleportation of the true world divine key directly uses the power of space to coerce us. It seems, you don't need to hold hands, right? I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 129. Auntie, look at the front, the spiritual energy is turning into liquid. Yang Hao hesitated when he heard the words, but immediately changed the subject without changing his expression. Zhongwu was right, the divine key of the true realm activates the power of space to coerce. As long as his thoughts move, not to mention 3 or 2 people, it will be 10. Several people can teleport with a single thought. However, Lu Yan was asked to hold hands just now because she needed to locate the aura of the pure blood phoenix. As for holding Zhongwu's hand, Yang Hao inexplicably did it on a whim. Impulsive. This is a subconscious behavior. After hearing Zhongwu's words, Yang Hao could only blurt it out. It seems that the maturity of the elixir of immortality should be helped by the growth of the world's ancient trees from it. At this time, Zhongwu's faint voice sounded. I don't know why, but she didn't care too much about the previous topic. Instead, she focused her eyes on the front. Wherever her eyes passed, there were streaks of milky white. These wandering dragons are no strangers to either Zhongwu or Yang Hao. When Zhongwu helped Yang Hao build the foundation, she once retrieved an ancient tree from the world and planted it on Yaoguang Immortal Peak. At that time, Zhongwu used the power of the magic circle to completely seal off the spiritual energy on the shaking light Immortal Peak. Soon, under the cleansing of the ancient trees of the world, the spiritual energy gathered and produced one stream after another of spiritual liquid. Finally, those spiritual liquids were once again transformed into the milky white swimming dragon in front of you. The birth of such a milky white swimming dragon means that the spiritual energy contained in this place is extremely rich. In addition to the spiritual energy transformed into liquid, there is also a refreshing medicinal fragrance reverberating in it. Yes. It is said that this space can be called the first-class cultivation treasure land of Zaiwei Star. Any practitioner with mediocre talent who practices here for many years can open the heavenly spirit even without the help of any external objects. The environment transformed into a monster. So many divine formations. There are at least tens of thousands of divine formations in this space. At this moment, Yang Hao's ears heard Yunyin's extremely shocked voice. Yang Hao was startled. At this moment, in front of his eyes, he was 1,000 meters forward. In addition to those milky white swimming dragons, there were white mist rising, he could clearly see the world inside. He had been unable to react because of Zhongwu's sudden words, but when he took a closer look at this moment, his eyes were filled with horror. The white mist in front of him was not mist at all. Instead, it was a series of gods that were almost formed into substance. Array. Every mist is a divine array. Layers upon layers, I don't know how many divine arrays are intertwined here. What a generous gesture. At this time, Zhongwu's muttering voice came. Obviously, Zhongwu also saw the clues of the fog in front of her at this moment. There are more than 10,000 divine formations, spanning this space. Each one is incomparable. It is a dangerous and terrifying divine formation that allows people to escape death. Even if a supreme formation mage wants to set up a divine formation, he has to pay a huge price, time, and energy. And now, there are tens of thousands of divine formations in front of him. Such a handwriting is not necessary. No matter how much you think about it, you will know that it must have been the great creation emperor. This place is not only a treasure, but also a dangerous place. If you are not careful, you may fall into it. The immortal medicine is within this 10,000 Dao divine formation. Zhongwu said slowly, her tone a little heavy. To pass through the fog, you don't need to crack all the divine formations one by one. But don't think too much, you also need to crack at least hundreds or thousands of divine formations before you can pass. Although this place there is no shortage of aura, and it is even a treasure for practitioners. But if you want to go through the fog and pick the elixir of immortality, even a supreme array mage will need hundreds or thousands of years. All things have animism. The elixir of immortality is naturally more spiritual. Let the elixir of immortality mature for hundreds or even thousands of years. I am afraid that with the spirituality of the elixir of immortality, I might directly become a sage, or even a quasi-emperor. At that time, if the elixir of immortality insists on escaping, who can catch it? It seems there is no hope. Jongwoo made a calm judgment without any disappointment. Because she had never expected to get the elixir of immortality a long time ago, and naturally she didn't expect much now. She looked at Yang Hao with some worry, fearing that he would rush forward. Yang Hao, who is going smoothly, will be hit. It's not hopeless. Auntie, when I entered just now, I was getting a steady stream of information about this place from the True World Divine Key. Now, I know this place. Yang Hao looked behind him, and one figure after another entered at a very fast speed. It was clearly the same space, but everyone could not be intertwined. The overlapping spaces made the time and space here seem to have stopped. Oh! Jongwoo looked at Yang Hao with her beautiful eyes, waiting for his next words. This place is called the True World. In the True World, time does not exist and space is unbalanced. So, they can't see us and we can't see them. When the True World appears, it will open for several hours. Those who are destined to enter the True World will have the opportunity to get the opportunity left by the Great Creation. Some of these divine formations are dangerous, while others are treasure troves. If someone has a fate with the Emperor of Creation, even the elixir of immortality planted by him can be obtained. Yang Hao pointed at himself seriously and said, "That's right. It seems that the Emperor of Creation is destined to me." Jongwoo looked at Yang Hao's serious and confident look, but she rarely laughed out loud. For a moment, a charming smile, like a ray of sunshine falling into Yang Hao's heart, made him slightly stunned. Jongwoo could see the old monsters vying to come to the real world in all directions. Although they couldn't see their figures clearly, Jongwoo could see the shadows of these old monsters constantly entering for opportunities. Now she heard Yang Hao seriously. Jongwoo felt pity for these old monsters for a moment. She knew Yang Hao very well. Since he said this, he must be confident. The divine key to the true world can be transformed into a divine boat and take us to the depths of the true world. According to the information from the true world divine key, if you are lucky, you can directly cross the last section of the Sea of Divine Formations. You only need to break 3 or 2 divine formations to reach the end. Even if you are unlucky, you can reach the finish line by destroying at most 10 divine formations. Auntie, who do you think can be faster than us? Yang Hao glanced at the figures in other spaces, his confidence was beyond words. I see. It seems that Hao is indeed destined to be the Emperor of Creation. When Jongwoo heard this, she nodded slightly. What Yang Hao said before was indeed correct. Of course, Yang Hao also fought for this fate. Now Jongwoo already knows the origin of the True World Divine Key. The True World Divine Key, but let go in the secret place of the forest of 10,000 Dharma stels, the holy land of creation. Not to mention how to enter the secret place. Even the forest of 10,000 Dharma stels cannot be entered by ordinary people. The emperor also has selfish motives, and naturally he hopes that his descendants will get the treasures he left behind. Of course, being acquired by Yang Hao, the holy son of the eternal Holy Land, can only be said to be a predestined relationship with the great emperor of creation. Auntie, let's go. Yang Hao's eyes lit up, but he subconsciously took Jongwoo's weak, boneless palm again. But just when he was about to touch Jongwoo's jade fingers, which were like gelatin, he seemed to have thought of something, and he paused for a moment. In mid-air. Little slicker. But he heard Jongwoo's helpless voice. Yang Hao's eyes lit up, and a warm feeling came from his hand again. Jongwoo took the initiative to hold his hand. Although he was a little at a loss, at the next moment, Yang Hao took Jongwoo and disappeared at the entrance to the True World in an instant. The True World Divine Key was indeed like a divine boat, taking Yang Hao and Zhongwu directly into the mist that formed the Sea of 10,000 Gods. Then, the true world divine key riding the wind and waves, he directly cut through the fog at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, the true world divine key had almost juttled through the fog. Yang Hao could vaguely see some phantoms appearing through the fog. Good luck. There are only 3 divine formations. At this time, Zhongwu's voice came. The true world divine key had stopped, and their figures appeared on the edge of the mist. At this time, Yang Hao was as lucky as ever. Going forward now, he would only encounter 3 enemies at most. Taoist formation. With Zhongwu's formation skills and Yunyan, there is almost no suspense in passing through the mist. Let's go. Yang Hao also perked up. He was already looking forward to it and headed directly towards a divine formation in front of him. Unexpectedly, in just 3 minutes, Zhongwu and Yang Hao appeared again. It turned out to be a treasure array. Among them, there is an ownerless Ji-Dao divine weapon and an ancient mysterious crystal. I am very lucky. At this time, even Zhongwu was not surprised to see that Yang Hao was very lucky and easily obtained the treasure from the dangerous killing formation. She even expected that it was very likely that the 3 divine formations in front of her would be this may be the case. But fortunately, Yang Hao's luck was not so bad after all. Of the 2 final divine formations, only one contained treasures, while the other was a killing formation. With the cooperation of Yunyan and Zhongwu, next, in just a few hours, they walked out of it. This is. Stepping out of the sea of divine formations that turned into mist, Yang Hao looked in front of him with twinkling eyes. An extremely familiar shadow appeared. I took away the villain's son. Author, the Great Onmyoji. Chapter 130. Chart of 10,000 Dharmas and Stars. Hanging on this. Earned 1.5 million points for discovering the true divine formation. Obtained 2 million points for being baptized by the incense of immortality from the God King. Earned 2 million points for being baptized by the incense of the God King's immortal medicine. All the strong medicinal fragrance comes from it. The system's income records also began to flood the screen crazily. The 10,000 methods and stars diagram is the ultimate imperial soldier of the Holy Land of Creation. He is always suppressing luck in the Holy Land of Creation. How could he appear here? The voice of Yunyan came to my ears. No, this is not the Ji-Dao Emperor weapon. Still a divine formation. In other words, this is the true divine formation. Yunyan's voice came, and the shock in his tone was beyond words. This Emperor of Creation is really amazing. The more people understand the formation, the easier it is for them to admire the Emperor of Creation. This is a divine formation. At the same time, Zhongwu's hesitant voice came. She specializes in martial arts, and Zhongwu's combat prowess is astonishing, but her attainments in formations are somewhat inferior to Yunyan's. But even so, Zhongwu still saw that the essence of the 10,000 method star diagram in front of him. In fact, the first moment Yang Hao saw this 10,000 method star diagram, he had already learned the true face of this 10,000 method star diagram through the system. It seems that the Emperor of Creation likes the 10,000 Dharma stars chart very much. Yang Hao knew that the true realm divine formation must be the proud work of Emperor Good Fortune, but he did not expect that the core of the true realm divine formation would actually be the appearance of the 10,000 stars diagram. The elixir of the God King. But Yang Hao's thoughts at this moment were different from Zhongwu's. He finally knew the name of the elixir of immortality. Although he had felt the fragrance of the medicine in the true world divine formation outside the true world before, the system prompts were only the elixir of immortality. Now that we have passed through the sea of divine formations, the system prompts have finally changed. Through the classics, I learned that the immortal elixirs that have appeared in the world include the true phoenix elixir, the divine dragon elixir, and the unicorn elixir. This divine elixir has never been recorded. His heart was shaken, and there was no memory of the God King's elixir in his memory. Subconsciously, he used the method of understanding the star map of all laws to sink his gaze into the divine formation in front of him. Sure enough, one after another extremely familiar stars appeared. It's just that it's different from the all-encompassing star chart, which has endless formations that derive from it. Each of the stars in this divine formation seems to be exactly the same. The great emperor of creation's accomplishments in the formation were much higher when he laid out the true realm divine formation than when he laid out the 10,000 Dharma star map. Even Yang Hao can see that the stars in this divine formation are more mysterious and profound. Looking at them as a whole, they are completely natural. The God King's elixir is located on the largest star. Yang Hao did not deliberately immerse his gaze, but looked directly at the most gigantic star in the starry sky. That is the source of the medicinal fragrance. The world's oldest tree. Yang Hao squinted his eyes, and something unexpected happened to him. He actually saw another extremely familiar shadow on this huge star. It was the crown of a towering giant tree. It was far bigger than the ancient tree of the world that he extracted in the Qingyang dynasty was too huge. At least 10 times bigger. Yang Hao sighed, with a look of horror in his eyes. I don't know how long it took for such a huge ancient world tree to appear, and it will give birth to such terrifying spiritual power. Under the nourishment of such a huge ancient world tree, it is no wonder that the legend the elixir of immortality that may not be seen for hundreds of thousands of years is about to be released. The elixir of immortality has not been released yet. It's just the right time. If you wait a few more hours, you should be able to be born. However, don't come close now. The elixir of immortality is inherently divine, and even I will be affected by it. Your realm is too low. If you are close to the immature elixir of immortality now, you will be lost. Zhang Wu's reminder came to my ears. Yes, what Holy Lord Zhang said is true. The elixir of immortality is one of the most miraculous artifacts in the world. Master, you haven't even gathered your Taoist heart yet, so it's best not to get close to it. The reminder from the two saints naturally made Yang Hao dare not act rashly. In this case, let's wait for maturity. He opened his mouth to suggest, but he turned his gaze to look at the other stars in the true realm God formation. The next moment, Yang Hao's Wei tower flew out. The figure of Saint Onling appeared. You also realize together, Yang Hao ordered calmly. There is a great opportunity here. As a saint, Saint Onling is one of his trump cards. Yang Hao naturally released him, allowing him to understand the secrets and gain harvest. The stronger Saint Onling is, the more powerful he is to him. The words are more beneficial. After releasing Onling Saint, Yang Hao also began to comprehend. Since he came here, he was naturally not willing to waste a minute and began to comprehend these stars. Not only him, but also Zhang Wu was in the same way. Understand the mystery of these stars. Huh? What is that? Yang Hao naturally began to understand these stars from the left and right sides of the huge planet. He found that near the stars with the God King's elixir, dense meteorite belts like gravel were drifting nearby. This is the sea of divine formations in the outside world. The tens of thousands of divine formations are actually so inconspicuous. Yang Hao sensed the origin of this meteorite belt as soon as he touched it. He subconsciously touched his thoughts, and something happened that caught him off guard. The true realm divine key flashed a divine glow, and then pictures appeared in front of Yang Hao's eyes. The pictures were full of figures. The door to the real world has been closed. These people are the ones who entered through the true realm divine formation that was rioting in the outside world this time. Yang Hao sensed it and understood it. It was just like he had obtained the second sequence in the forest of 10,000 Dharma stels. He also had great privileges in this real true world divine formation. Fang Qingying is actually here too. Yes, under this opportunity, he broke through to the divine king realm. Yang Hao nodded. Among the figures struggling to cross the sea of the true realm god formation, he just saw the existence of Fang Qingying. It is not surprising that this iceberg goddess with the look of a heroine is here. Yang Hao came to Shiwen Das Han, the big reason is because of Fang Qingying's message. At this moment, Fang Qingying is far ahead in the sea of god formation, surpassing many old monsters who broke in. Yang Hao nodded slightly, just with a thought. In an instant, a group of people were fighting in the god formation. The peerless beauty just appeared next to Yang Hao. Zhongwu woke up from her meditation in an instant. When she saw Fang Qingying's figure, she frowned and pressed murderous intent towards Fang Qingying. Back then, Yang Hao came from ancient times. After returning from the battlefield, he only briefly mentioned to Zhongwu the gains from the ancient battlefield. However, the main discussion between the two was about why the corpse of Emperor Zhuye was resurrected. Yang Hao forgot to tell Zhongwu about the transformation of Fang Qingying. Met the owner. But just when Zhongwu's murderous aura was overwhelming, Fang Qingying was stunned, looked around, and instantly spotted Yang Hao's figure, and immediately saw Yang Hao without hesitation. "You little guy, you actually transformed her." Zhongwu was shocked when she saw this scene, but she understood it in an instant. She naturally knew about this yin-yang Holy Land genius who had issued a war letter to Yang Hao. Zhongwu even had murderous intentions for Fang Qingying, but later Zhongwu it was decided to leave Fang Qingying to Yang Hao to sharpen his sword. After the trip to the ancient battlefield was over, Yang Hao never mentioned Fang Qingying again. Zhongwu had speculations at the time, but now that she saw this scene, she was sure. "Hey hey." Yang Hao saw Zhongwu's astonished look, chuckled lightly and said to Qingying, "This is the real core of the true realm god formation behind the fog. You can understand it yourself." Fang Qingying nodded obediently when she heard this, and immersed herself in the stars in all directions. The true world key has many privileges. Can directly control the sea of god formation. At this time, Yang Hao said to Zhongwu, who had some questions on the side. Zhongwu nodded slightly, and a surprise flashed in his eyes. "Then why don't you plunder all the divine formations that contain treasures in the sea of divine formations?" Hearing Zhongwu's natural words, Yang Hao blinked. "Oh, why the hell didn't I think of it?" It's not that he didn't think of it, it was just that he was immersed in the vast scene in the sea of the god formation, and he also discovered Fang Qingying. The traces of them made him forget them for a while. After being reminded by Zhongwu, Yang Hao naturally immediately activated the true world divine key without hesitation and snatched out all the divine formations that contained treasures in the sea of divine formations. It only took a moment. Time. All the cultivators who were exploring the sea of the true realm god formation did not realize that there were no more opportunities in the entire god formation. All the harvest they could have obtained had been plundered by Yang Hao. What was left for them? Only the crisis-ridden and murderous divine formations were left. At the same time, in front of Yang Hao, Zhongwu, and others, a mighty divine light appeared. Among the tens of thousands of divine formations, nearly 1/10 of them were destroyed. The great emperor of creation put in the treasure. What appeared in front of Yang Hao and Zhongwu was a huge divine treasure. "Auntie, if you have anything you want, just take it," Yang Hao said to Zhongwu without thinking. "No need, your prehistoric killing array is a bottomless pit, just save it first." "But I heard," Zhongwu say with a smile. Facing this huge divine treasure, she was not tempted. No matter how much cultivation is needed, the harvest this time is enough. Yang Hao pretended to be angry when he saw that Zhongwu didn't want it. Zhongwu had no choice but to take a few items from the sacred treasure in front of her without even looking at it. Yang Hao was speechless when he saw this scene. His aunt, everything is good, but he loves himself too much. Others may have gone crazy when they saw this scene, but Zhongwu didn't even look at it. But he didn't say anything more, and threw away the many gods. He gave some to Saint Anling and Fang Qingying and kept them. When his aunt needed it, he would naturally give it to her again. Huh. After collecting Shenzang, Yang Hao suddenly stared at the end of the Sea of God formation with some strangeness. Auntie, does this person look familiar? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 131. Yang Hao also caught a glimpse of it unintentionally. His eyes suddenly stopped, and he realized that someone was about to break out of the sea of divine formations at this time. After just counting for a moment, Yang Hao discovered that this person was still at most a dozen divine formations away from breaking through the sea of divine formations. Although this person's speed of breaking the formation was not very fast, it still surprised Yang Hao. You know, he was able to come to the core of the true world because of the divine key to the true world. What is this guy's background? It's so far forward. Yang Hao saw that his speed in breaking through the formation was not very fast, but he was able to defeat countless old monsters who had entered the real world, and even Fang Qingying, a being with the fate of a heroine. This made Yang Hao curious. Could it be that this person also had great luck? After some observation, I found that apart from being very strong and reaching the realm of an eternal giant, the other party did not have any other strengths. Yang Hao didn't know this person, but he felt vaguely familiar. He vaguely remembered that he had seen him in the chief holy scripture, so he immediately asked Zhongwu casually. Look familiar? Zhongwu looked at Yang Hao. She did not have the authority of the true world divine key. Although she could understand the sea of divine formations here, she could not see the figures in it. Yang Hao nodded and activated the true world divine key. Suddenly, this figure appeared in Zhongwu's eyes. It's him. Zhongwu just glanced at it indifferently and immediately recognized the origin of this figure. An elder from the Holy Land of Creation. It was he who was sent out by the Holy Land of Creation in the first place to protest against the Holy Lord not being allowed to serve as a protector. Unexpectedly, he had some luck and actually entered the real world. Zhongwu looked at this figure, with a trace of disgust flashing in her eyes. She hated this kind of sinister villain very much. She didn't expect that the other person would have such a chance and low cultivation level, and he would also come to the real world. The elder who created the Holy Land. I once made things difficult for you, Auntie. Thoughts sparked in Yang Hao's mind. After pondering for a moment, he asked Auntie, how is his cultivation? But the saint level was suppressed and lowered. Zhongwu heard this and immediately said no. I didn't notice it in the chief holy scriptures that day, it wouldn't be too high. However, only a short amount of time has passed, and he has already become an eternal giant, so he must have received a great opportunity. Zhongwu saw the realm of this figure from Yang Hao's exciting scene. An eternal giant. It happens to be the highest level of cultivation that can be achieved in the true realm God formation. Yang Hao understood and said slowly, this person should be named Lin Feng. He just thought for a moment, and after asking a few more questions, he immediately guessed it. It's not difficult to guess. The identity has been confirmed, and he is an elder from the Holy Land of Creation. His cultivation level was not high before, and he was not a reclusive person. The old monster walked out. At this moment, the other party clearly broke through the divine formation very slowly, but it was about to break through the sea of divine formation and reach the core area where they were. He had not forgotten that when he entered the secret place in the forest of 10,000 method stels, Yunyan judged that someone had arrived at the secret place first. Not only that, the other party also took the sacred object from the solidified divine formation in the secret place. Later, from the temple, Yang Hao guessed who came first. It's Lin Feng. The original second sequence of the forest of 10,000 method stels, Class B Elder Lin Feng. It was only after I obtained the true world divine key that I overtook Lin Feng and became the second rank. Yang Hao continued, the sea of divine formations, if you want to break it just by relying on the formation skills. Unless the Emperor of Creation comes in person, it is impossible to crack it in a short time. Lin Feng was able to reach the point of the sea of divine formation in a short period of time because he must have been destined to the Emperor of Creation and obtained a divine object similar to the true realm divine key in the secret place. It's just that compared to the true world divine key, it's naturally a bit inferior. But even so, he can still be one step ahead of others. If I didn't have the true realm divine key, I wouldn't have thought that Lin Feng would be the one who came here before everyone else today. Hearing this, Zhang Wu nodded slightly and said calmly, this person is quite lucky. Yang Hao's analysis was very clear. She also learned about the sequence of the forest of 10,000 Dharma stels from Yang Hao, so she naturally understood Lin Feng's identity. Auntie, some luck is not as simple as that. Before I left the Holy Land of Creation, I deliberately collected information about Lin Feng. A mediocre elder in the Holy Land of Creation, nothing outstanding. According to the data, he is just a cultivator of the monster level. The realm should only be powerful. But Lin Feng's current state not only reaches the level of an eternal giant, but also the strongest level of combat power. He should have a big secret or great luck. Yang Hao showed interest in his eyes. Just take him over, transform him, and ask him for his secret. Zhang Wu said to Yang Hao without hesitation. She has no good impression of Lin Feng and may even be a potential enemy. Although she doesn't care, Yang Hao needs to be careful. It's better to take advantage of her presence at the scene and Yang Hao to have the authority. Directly solve the hidden danger of Lin Feng. Lin Feng may never have imagined that the goddess in his heart would completely hate him just because of his impulse, and suggested that Yang Hao transform him. Kindness. Yang Hao's answer was also very simple and rude. Originally, he didn't really care about Lin Feng. Even if the other party was an elder of the Holy Land of Creation, the great age was coming, and there were too many talented people with great luck in the world. He didn't like to kill innocent people indiscriminately, and he didn't like to practice. It's too late to pay attention to these people. But if he is offended, even for a little bit, he will definitely repay his flaws and will not stop until death. Since the chief saint dares to jump out and prevent his aunt from becoming his protector. Even if he is being instigated by others, he is still hostile to him. His thoughts are surprisingly consistent with Zhang Wu's. The other party's level is not low, and he has great luck. Who knows if he can go against himself for the first time? Will there be a second or third time? So, I would rather kill the wrong person than let go. Yang Hao had an idea and immediately activated the True World Divine Key to take action against Lin Feng, who was in the Sea of God formation. He wanted to directly kill the opponent, such as Fang Qingying. General grabbed him in front of him, Zhang Wu, and Ling and him took action together to suppress him, and then transformed him directly to torture him for his secret. At this time, Lin Feng did not know that a disaster was coming. He was extremely anxious. Quick! Faster! Damn the divine formation, why did Emperor Creation arrange it so mysteriously? Lin Feng, who was born in the Holy Land of Creation, is actually not very talented in formations, and was not particularly proficient in his previous life. After being reborn in this life, his adventures along the way and his insights in the forest of 10,000 lost elves allowed him to reach the supreme level formation. The realm of a mage. In this realm, for someone who has only practiced for 100 years in this life, no one of his peers can compare with him. But at this time, Lin Feng was still not satisfied. His speed of breaking the formation was too slow. Damn legend! In his previous life, he heard that after Fang Lai obtained the key to the true world, he directly crossed the sea of divine formations. There were a large number of divine formations, but only 18 of them lay in front of him. I didn't expect that when I arrived, there were 25 divine formations. Fortunately, 3 of the divine formations are all chance formations, otherwise it would be even more time-consuming. If it doesn't happen sooner, if it takes longer for the God King's elixir to come out, I may not be able to suppress it. Lin Feng's eyes were urgent, and it was recorded in the classics of his previous life. When the God King's elixir was born, Fang became extremely powerful as soon as he was born. And the longer he was born, the more powerful he became. As far as he knew, Fang Lai and Fang Qingying were also the two great couples back then. The peerless monsters teamed up and combined with various coincidences, intercepted the part of the God King's elixir. In this way, Fang Lai and Fang Qingying later became the first geniuses to attain enlightenment after the arrival of the Great World. Therefore, such a genius Lin Feng must not miss this big opportunity. What's more, in addition to the God King's elixir, there is another opportunity that is not trivial. He must speed up. Hateful. Why is there another killing array? At this time, Lin Feng broke through a divine formation again. At this moment, he walked out of the sea of divine formations, and only the last few divine formations were left. Although he was angry, Lin Feng knew that anger would make the formation slower to break, and he immediately calmed down. Come on, continue to break the formation. A sudden change occurred. What happened? Lin Feng suddenly felt a terrible tremor covering his whole body. His expression changed and his scalp went numb. His instinct told him that he was about to encounter a life and death horror. Impossible. I am within the divine formation and possess the key to the true world. How could I encounter a life and death crisis? Lin Feng immediately activated the true world key, wanting to mobilize his authority to erase the tremor that enveloped him. But when he activated the true world key, boom! A muffled sound sounded. The yellow ancient jade shattered in an instant. The broken ancient jade released a mysterious force to protect him. The key to the true world is broken. Lin Feng blinked, a little dazed, and then disbelief and fear invaded his whole body. However, before he could react, the next moment, he appeared in the 100,000 mountains outside the true world divine formation. Was he teleported out of the true world divine formation? Yang Hao didn't expect that he would activate the true realm divine key to grab Lin Feng in front of him, but the other party would be teleported away directly. He was a little stunned for a moment. It seems that the Emperor of Creation does not allow people who get his chance to kill each other. Zhongwu was not surprised when she heard this, but said calmly, "That's all. Now that we already know his identity, we just need to catch him after our trip to the True Realm God formation is over." Yang Hao didn't know that Lin Feng was the protagonist, otherwise he would have been able to infer that the protagonist saved Lin Feng at the critical moment. He had no intention of letting Lin Feng go, and decided to capture him immediately after this opportunity was over. However, the magic medicine has changed. It should be born soon. At this time, Zhongwu's voice came. I took away the villain's son. Author, the Great Onmyoji. Chapter 132. When Yang Hao heard this, he immediately left little people like Lin Feng behind and looked at the huge star. Compared with the amazing opportunity that is about to be born in front of him, Lin Feng is really insignificant. Such a strong aura, just by sensing the aura, my immortal golden body began to continuously produce immortal substances. Master, I took a step forward. At this time, Saint Onling, who had been standing aside, suddenly said. His golden body was flashing and his aura was strong. The so-called step forward is naturally not a real step forward, but a unique step in the realm of a saint. This statement means that Saint Onling has transformed and become stronger. Not just Saint Onling. Zhang Wu, who had just reminded Yang Hao, suddenly stopped moving at this moment, as if she had fallen into some strange state. A great opportunity has arrived. What kind of immortality medicine is this? It actually has unparalleled benefits for saints. At this time, Yunyin's extremely envious voice came to Yang Hao's ears. As a saint, she could naturally see the changes in Zhongwu and Anling Saint. Unfortunately, she was only in a soul state at the moment and could not express herself to Zhongwu at all. The two of them got amazing gains like that. Yang Hao looked at Fang Qingying after hearing this, but found that he and himself were not greatly affected. It seems that it is indeed a saint-level opportunity. Yang Hao was not disappointed, but looked at the big star with more expectancy. Even a saint can get such huge benefits, let alone him. He will be born within an hour at most. At this time, Yang Hao naturally became enlightened and looked at the milky white dragons coming out one after another on the big star in the distance and the colorful medicinal fragrance that was almost solidifying. He felt that his divine body was already eager to try. I was so excited that I couldn't help myself. Sure enough, it didn't take long. On the distant star, there was a terrifying spiritual energy explosion. The milky white swimming dragons transformed again, forming a vast and endless ocean of spiritual energy. At the same time, a terrifying spiritual energy burst out. The scent of the medicine finally condensed into a colorful essence, falling straight towards the core of the true realm god formation and escaping. Fang Qingying, the opportunity has arrived. Sacrifice the killing array and accumulate nourishment. Yang Hao finally understood why his divine body was so excited. The moment he sensed the colorful clouds transformed from the medicinal fragrance coming in like a tidal wave, he directly opened the sea of spiritual energy and absorbed these colorful clouds like crazy. The killing formation was directly used by Yang Hao, like a whirlpool, absorbing all the colorful clouds that were constantly escaping. As a peerless talent, Fang Qingying naturally reacted quickly. She also used her killing formation at this moment, which was a small world like glass, with divine light shining inside, very pure. But the next moment, both Yang Hao's ancient killing formation and Fang Qingying's glazed killing formation were enveloped in colorful divine clouds in an instant. Yang Hao I can sense with incomparable clarity that the colorful divine glow that is coming towards my face is clearly a supreme treasure liquid that does not need to be refined at all. It can directly nourish the killing array and allow it to be quickly absorbed. The sea of spiritual energy is also colorful at this time. Under the infusion of Shengxia, it began to expand crazily. Earn 3 million points for being baptized by the essence of the God King's elixir. Earn 3 million points for being baptized by the essence of the God King's elixir. Earn 10 million points due to realm improvement. Earn 10 million points due to realm improvement. At this moment, the system's income records began to flash across the screen like crazy. When Yang Hao was baptized by the essence of the vision before the birth of the God King's elixir, he also received a huge amount of extra points. In just half an hour, he got more than 100 million points. Not only that, he's broken. Yang Hao's ancient killing formation was being infused with a huge tidal wave of colorful divine clouds. At this moment, within his ancient killing formation, the phantoms of spiritual treasures began to solidify very quickly. In addition to the towers and guns that have been condensed into entities, the spiritual treasures such as flags, discs, swords, etc. are instantly condensed into essence under the nourishment of the colorful divine clouds. The moment these treasures condensed into substance, Yang Hao naturally broke through. Array Evolution Realm Second Heaven. The third level of Formation Realm. In the blink of an eye, Yang Hao broke through 2 realms in a row. This means that his prehistoric killing formation is completely stable. Unless he encounters a catastrophe of life and death and blows up the entire killing array, or if Yang Hao directly forcibly seizes the eyes of Dongbo Saint Sun's killing array, otherwise his ancient killing array will only become more and more stable, it's like a small world. It's too difficult to break through. Yang Hao couldn't help but sigh when he felt that he had broken through. His foundation was too strong. Supreme Immortal Bone, Time Dao Pattern, Reincarnation Dao Embryo Divine Body, Prehistoric Killing Formation. Every time his foundation became stronger, it meant that his battle the force forms a superposition effect. but correspondingly, naturally he cannot break through the realm as crazy and instantly as before. The reason is very simple. For others to break through the realm, they only need to fill a bowl of water, and some monsters can fill a bucket of water, or a river is enough. He is different. Every time he breaks through a realm, what needs to be filled is a sea. And it's not just one sea. It may be 2 or 3. It can be said that he has reached every realm. He has reached the extreme level and is extremely solid. Naturally, his combat power is also terrifying to the extreme. If he goes against a small realm, he is a genius. If he goes against a big realm, he is a genius. Yang Hao, on the other hand, goes against the odds several great realms. Now at the king level, he can defeat the extremely strong man in the eternal giant realm by combining with Yunyan. King, mighty, divine king, giant, and eternal giant. 4 great realms. Even if he doesn't compete with the combination of Yunyan, Yang Hao can definitely kill giants with ease. Therefore, his realm seems to be improving slowly, but his combat power actually improves faster than rocket. That's it, it still doesn't count him. The pure combat power of various trump cards. You know, Yang Hao this year is not yet 30 years old. The saints and saints of his generation, even the younger Qiang and Tianji, are already nearly 100 years old. Not to mention Tianquan, Tianchu, and others. It can be said that Yang Hao is said to have the appearance of a great emperor and the most powerful genius in 100,000 years. This is definitely not flattering, but underestimated. The only person who can fight against him may have the fate of the protagonists who are constantly cheating. As expected, the points gained also began to increase. Yang Hao was in an extremely good mood at this time. Every time he broke through, not only his combat power increased, but also the points obtained by the system increased. He looked at the income record of the system at this moment. Earned 4 million points for being baptized by the essence of the God King's elixir. Earned 4 million points for being baptized by the essence of the God King's elixir. After breaking through 2 realms in a row, the points he gained each time were 1 million more than before. If this lasts for half an hour, it will be tens of millions of additional points in revenue. After a breakthrough, automatic refining can also be improved to higher efficiency. This is a virtuous cycle. Yang Hao's eyes flickered. Before, he was limited to the points he could obtain. He could use the system in the sea of spiritual qi to refine up to 100 treasures at the same time. Now that he has broken through and gained more points, he can refine more treasures at the same time. He refined the efficiency of transformation will naturally gradually increase from 100 times to 110 times, 120 times. Such a virtuous cycle will make his cultivation speed faster and faster. It is indeed the elixir of immortality. Just approaching birth has given me such a huge improvement. If it were the immortal medicine itself, what kind of huge gains could I get? Yang Hao's eyes were full of expectation, while he was eagerly absorbing the colorful clouds, while waiting for the birth of the elixir of immortality. Not only him, but everyone present at this moment has received a huge opportunity. Such an opportunity can only be found in the body. Only those at the core of the true world divine array can obtain it. Although the fragrance of the immortal elixir can escape through the core of the true world divine array, these colorful clouds, which are almost condensed into essence, cannot break out of the core and can only it spread in the universe formed by the core of the true realm God formation. Time passed little by little. Zhongwu and Onling Saint both woke up from their enlightenment. Without exception, they all received huge benefits. At this time, Yang and Yang Hao waits for the birth of the elixir of immortality together. Coming. Suddenly, I felt that the endless tide transformed into colorful divine clouds suddenly stopped. The next moment, even the endless spiritual dragon on the distant star seemed to have been stopped by time. Tens of thousands of feet of divine light soared into the sky. Will this the dark universe that was transformed into a night-like core at the core of the true realm divine formation was instantly illuminated like day. A huge shadow gradually turned into a human form and suddenly appeared on the distant star. That extremely deep and ancient aura coming towards his face, Yang Hao was reminded of the vision he had in the past when he caused the immortal king to come to Jushan. Under the gaze of everyone, this figure slowly moved. One hand slowly raised, pointing to the sky. The other a hand slowly fell, pointing to the ground. In heaven and on earth, I am the only one. A magnificent voice fell calmly. It was high up, and it was suspected that the God King was born.